Hello my dear artists, and welcome to this loose watercolor tutorial with lemons. Today we will paint this very simple lemon pattern using just a few watercolors and a very simple watercolor techniques. This is a very cute idea for a hand-painted postcard or just a simple painting project without any rush or pressure. Painting this lemon pattern can help you to make more confident brush strokes. Just practice in color to water ratio and understand how the color blending works on the wet surface, because it's very important in watercolor. If you want to learn how to paint more realistic and more complex lemons, you can join my fresh Skillshare class. This class includes not only step-by-step lemon painting, but also watercolor techniques for painting realistic leaves, which is essential in botanical watercolor illustration. This class is beginner-friendly and also includes 2 class projects for the beginner level and intermediate level, but I'm sure with my simple instructions you'll be able to paint any of the reference with the lemons that I also attached to this class. I hope to see you in the class, but now let's get back to the lemon pattern we are going to paint in this video. I'll start with the main watercolors I will use: Hansa Yellow Dip and Aureoline, also green color, but the full list of colors you can find in the description. I will use 2 brushes by Silver Brush Black Velvet number 6 and number 4. I'll start painting using brush number 4 and I'm placing Aureoline color on the palette. I also have some leftovers of the red color on the palette, so I will use it for creating some more brownish mixes with yellow. And also I want to place the pure yellow color. I will paint without any sketch because I will just practice in my brush strokes, and I recommend you do the same. If you feel very stressed, you can sketch out some of the lemons and leaves. I started by painting the oval shape of the lemon using Aureoline, and I also paint this little thing at the bottom, the blossom end on the lemon. And I add on the sides some of the darker color mix of yellow and red. I clean my brush and load it with a green color, and with the tip of the brush I carefully paint the branch with leaves. I can add a little dot of green color on the wet surface of the lemon to create some interesting texture. And I think that I want to switch to the brush number 6 eventually, because I need to cover bigger area and it will be more convenient to use this brush. And I repeat the same steps. First, I paint the oval shape of the lemon with a confident and wide brush strokes. Then I add slightly darker color Hansa Yellow Dip on the side of the lemon, letting colors blend. And then I will clean my brush and I will paint the branch while the lemon is still wet. So you see that stem is connected to the lemon and the color slightly dissolves into the wet surface. I can also connect one of the leaves to the body of the lemon and it will nicely blend with each other, creating this artistic effect. I didn't clean the brush after the green shade, and now I have a greenish yellow color on the brush, and I'm using this color to paint another lemon. It's okay to use different shades of yellow, and it's even good because it makes our painting more diverse and interesting in color shades. I'm trying to place lemons with different angles to create more diversity in the shapes as well, and to make them a bit different in size. I can use mix with red shade and add it to the wet surface. The leaves also should be very different, and I can paint not only the leaves connected to the lemon, but also leaves separately and leaves connected to some sides of the lemon. You can use different shades of green as well, and even add some droplets of yellow to the wet leaf to create also different colors. Don't forget to add some more warm shades into the wet surface of the lemon. It will create more interesting texture and color, and also the dimension of the object. You can see that I have a few shades of green on my other palette, and it's actually just green mixed with yellow and Hansa yellow dip and Aureoline with different proportions, so I can use darker or lighter green mixes. You can also use Payne's Gray for mixes with green to make darker shades. If you know me long enough, you know that I always add Payne's Gray into my limited palettes, and I love mixing it with different colors. And I even have a color mixing video on my YouTube channel featuring the Payne's Gray and 6 other colors, one of which is actually a mix of yellow and Payne's Gray, which gives a very interesting green shade. I also add some of the green to the wet surface of the lemons to create also diversity and to make some shadows on the lemons. And by the way, since we are talking about color mixing, if you just begin with watercolor, I highly recommend you to join my color mixing class on Skillshare that you can find by the link in bio. It's very useful for understanding how limited palettes work, to understand watercolor techniques and how to read watercolor labels. And of course, you will learn about color theory as well. I paint leaves on the lemons with a simple brush strokes, and sometimes I just leave white area in the middle, clean my brush and add there some yellow shade, letting the colors blend into a very nice natural green shade. While I'm painting a new lemon, I can come back to the previous ones if I see that the surface is still wet, and I can add a little bit of darker shades. And it's very useful exercise to understand the amount of water you have on the paper and how color will behave on this wet surface. The more water you have on the surface, the less control you have over traveling your paints on the surface. So if you wait a little bit, you will see that the color doesn't travel too much. It still blends with the existing layer, but you have more control over the color on the paper. Now almost all of my card filled with lemons, and now I want to analyze where I want to place some of the separate leaves, just single leaves, to fill out the empty spaces between the lemons. I add some mix of Hansa yellow dip and also some green shade to the lemon. If I see that the color is too dark, I can clean my brush and remove some color with a dry brush. But for now, I like how it turns out. Now I've painted all of my lemons, and I will move to painting some leaves in the empty spaces, for example at the top of the card. I can even place some of the leaves over the lemons, creating depth in the objects that I placed on the card. The first layer was pretty light, so now I can place darker leaves over the light ones, again to create the depth in composition, so it feels like some of the leaves go over the other ones. Now my card is almost done, and the last thing I want to add is to add some pores on the lemons. I'm mixing the leftovers of the colors on the palette and using this dark yellow shade, maybe even mixed with a little bit of green. And if you know the color theory, green and red will create brownish shade. I will use this color and the very tip of my brush. I see that the color is too dark, so I can just reduce some intensity. And I'm just placing these little dots. They should be very chaotic and different in terms of color and size to look very artistic and realistic. After I've done this part, I want to add also little dots in the white spaces between the lemons and the leaves. I will use the same color, maybe mixed with Hansa yellow dip, and I'm just painting these little dots. You can skip this step and leave your lemon card as it is, or add dots as I do. And our card is done. Thank you for painting with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment of what would you like to paint next. I hope to see you in my lemon class on Skillshare, and I'll see you in my other tutorials on YouTube.